Hi everyone, welcome to Bonsai Expression. I'm Christoph, and today, well, you've seen the thumbnail. I've got a bit of a shifty round, and I've got a perfect little setup for working on all the little bonsai trees and some of the larger ones. And while I'm working on them, it gives me the perfect environment for me to check out all my trees and just relax in a nice little Zen garden. Well, while the Zen garden is under construction, that is, because funds are really tight. The house still isn't finished. It's not going to be for a while now, and the garden is nowhere near going to get started. So with that in mind, I've no benches. Well, I've got one I brought from the old property, which is, as you can see, it's going to be my work environment. It's going to be my bench going forward for all the repots, all the work that we do on the trees, which is my old one, which was the better one out of the three that we had. The other ones were falling apart, hence why it got left behind and they got thrown in one of the skips. I've got a little display bench, and I've got another one that we've made up from 2 crates and the little racking that we had. So I'm going to give you a little walk around, little update video in between doing the repots that we're going to get going, because a lot of repot videos probably going to get boring going forward. So this is going to be like, well, it's not going to be an interim, but it's going to prepare us before we get stuck in properly for all the repots, because the weather is here. I'm going to get loads of repots done today. I just want to show you what's going on, because the greenhouse again probably going to be back end of the year realistically, if I can get the funds available, because I'd really not like to go back to them silly polytunnels, because if I get any more storms going, I'm going to struggle this year. So let me get round, let's get you off the tripod, let me give you a little walk around, let me give me a demo of where I'm going to be sitting and how I'm going to be chilling with my trees. Bear in mind, the trees are still just sat over there waiting for me to bring them over to work on, and then as I work on them and everything's starting to flush into growth, I can place them into some sort of order around me, because for the time being I don't really know where everything's going, and I've got the tropicals as well that needs to come out once the weather temperatures stay stable, nice and hot, 12-13 degrees overnight as well. Once that happens, I can then obviously make placement. Sorry, my mouth's really dry. It's actually really nice today. Once the temperatures stay stable overnight, they can come out. I can make decisions on where to place the rest of the trees, rearrange everything as well, and the garden can look quite nice. Them's the plans. So I'll give you a walk around. So walking around, this would be a perfect time for me to try out my gimbal. I've just bought one, albeit not a very expensive one, but I have bought one nonetheless, and I'm not even going to bother using it. It's still sat in the house. So walk around. New little area. This is going to be eventually where the greenhouse is going to go, but for the time being, it is now my workstation. So as you can see, I've got myself a little workstation going on. We've got the whiteboard behind it, so that's all screwed in, secure this time properly. So we've got it secured to the fence. So I've got a nice little background going on. As you can see, my workstation's all prepped. I've got my soil, got my tray, got me some tools, spinning station, and I've got a couple of spinny chairs as well, one with wheels, one without, so I can take a perch, pull this out, and as you can see, this is the camera angle that sometimes we use. Get myself in here, work on my trees, and that's what you'll see. Trees just here, blah 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 blah. But if I spin around, you can see that just down here I've set up a nice little area. So we've got a couple of crates. I've nailed the little racking shelving unit, or the shelf from the unit that was spare, and I've got Skeletor and like a Tony Astor Halloween special that Gavin set me a challenge up there from Not Another Bonsai channel. So hi Gavin, if you're watching. So I've got that set up over here, so while I'm working I can just take a look over. I know I've got a couple of trees here, and we're probably going to have just a couple down at the bottom here as well. And on just this one, we've got the forest. As I say, in my forest, unfortunately, I had one of them die. I've got, this was a plum, one of my big plum trees, and then in I think it was Dara, I think it was the first storm we had, ripped the tree in half, and now all I've got is a little stem just growing on it. So I'm going to have a couple of trees, maybe just one or two of the larger ones just here, and then I've got the obviously the field maple just here. But for the time being, obviously this is an absolute eyesore area that will be sorted out at a later date. Part of the garden development, ignore it, but it will look nicer with a couple of trees. Over to the side, if I stand up, obviously I've got the bench here, the display bench. Got myself my little forest that we made. So this is the beginner forest where I showed everyone that just with a couple of quid or pounds sterling, if you like, in the UK, just a couple of pounds, I got some trees, the pot from Facebook Marketplace, and I showed you that just with a couple of pounds and as a beginner guide, you can make yourself a little forest. We're still working on that. As that flushes out, and as you can see, if I get yourself in there, so a little update as well, it is starting to push out. Spring is here, I keep saying it. So I think I've done 2 videos on that. One building it, maybe 3. One building it, one pruning it, one just going on, making sure everything's fine on it, showing you that it works, dead easy, root prune it, putting it together, making sure everything's fine on it. It can be done, go and do it. So I've got this nice little area, and then I had another shelf here. All I've done is I've just nailed it into the bottom of the fence, and then I've nailed the other side into another crate as well, and then I've got the larch forest that's starting to grow as well, and then a couple more trees just perched on the other end. And then again, I'm just going to put a nice spacing of trees on this side here, and then I'm going to make this area as in a walk into. So if I come along, and I'll just turn you back round, so as I show, as you've seen from the thumbnail, I'll make this into a path area as if I was going to walk into, just to make it look a little bit better in the garden for now. And then that's my little workstation. Over this side, I'm just going to have a nice little row of trees section, and then I'm just going to have a couple more here, and then down at the front. This unfortunately is just a complete eyesore of a gravelled area, and all I used it for, as you already know, that was my polytunnel, or at least one of the polytunnels, and then I had another one here. So because it's all gravelled, I'm not sure what I'll do with it this year. All the trees are here, so maybe I'll just use it as some sort of growing area. I might just get some, as you can see, I've got some bricks at the moment that's spare. I might sort of cordon it off, not sure what with. I don't want to spend any money on it because it's not part of the development in terms of the garden later on when we spend the money, so I don't really want to spend too much money on it. But I might cordon it off and then use it as a staging area of some variety. Maybe get some more benches or some more of those crates, but they are pretty expensive for what they are. So I might check Facebook Marketplace and see if I can get any more of these benches, because I paid £15 for that on Facebook Marketplace, I think. Was it last summer before? And some guy dropped it off as well in the local area, so nice guy. It's not the greatest, but it is something that some guy made, and I paid £15 for it. It does the job for me, which is obviously what it is. It's just a nice little bench for my bonsai tree, so I can find something similar on Facebook Marketplace for something cheap. Again, I can just use that and add for the time being until I get something. So the trees, again, once they start getting repotted, because they're all starting to burst out in growth one at a time, I will start looking at making some nice planting areas. So as you can see, just from this angle, it doesn't look too great, but as the trees start filling in, it'll make that area look an awful lot better. And if I can find something to put some trees on just to make it stand out up and down, I could always use one of these stools, again somewhere here. I just make it look like I'm crowded in. I'm sorry, tickly throat. If I can make it feel like I'm crowded in with the trees, it'll just make me feel an awful lot better. As you think I'm sat here, I'm just sat with the trees facing me from this angle. I spin round from this angle as well. And if you think, if I'm talking to you guys on film, and I've got stuff like camera angles like this, if I've got a camera angle like this, and I'm here like this, talking to you, it just looks nice as a view. I've got trees in the background here, or if I'm talking this way, or if again I've got a camera angle like this, and I could be possibly sat down here and I've got trees in the background. It just looks nice on camera. And it makes me feel good as well, because we all know as bonsai enthusiasts that if you've got your trees around you, they are looking nice, they just make you feel good. So it's all about empowering yourself in your trees, making yourself feel that nice little zen peace of mind, and give you that little bit of bonsai. Anyway, while we're here, let's do a little quick update. Nothing major, but look at this. Look at my hawthorn. Absolutely beautiful. She's coming on fantastically. All buds are popping. Man, I really love this time of year. Anyway, I don't want to take too much of your time up in terms of this. I just wanted to just give you a quick update on the little area that's going on. Does me. That'll do me fine. As I say, just going to sit here, do some work in a minute. I'm going to be working on getting one of my maples repotted. That's the 15p, well, I think that's the original 15p maple. So why not get that into repot, because it needs it. So here's a sneak peek for you. It's starting to push the buds. Oh, come on, focus. So that's starting to push the buds out, so I'm going to do a repot on this now, because it needs to be in a bigger pot. But again, if I'm sat here working on this, which I'm going to be in a minute, I've got this lovely little view. My ginkgo is going to be there, flushed out in growth soon. That's all going to be flushed out in growth. It's going to be lovely. I'm going to have all these little trees around me. They'll be all flush in growth. I'm going to make all my nice ones around me. It'll look nice. I just need to get some sort of benches around me. See if I can find some on Facebook Marketplace. This camera angle looks an awful lot better because I've got my trees. Look, and they're not even fully out in growth yet. So as these all come in full of growth, this camera angle is going to be an awful lot better. I'm going to have plenty of trees surrounding me, and it just looks better, especially for the viewers. That's you lot. So it gives you something to look at rather than my ugly mug while I'm talking. Anyway, I'm so glad I brought this bench with me from the old house. It's the only one that was any decent worth bringing. It's the only one worth bringing, and obviously I had it in the garage studio. So that obviously did me for a couple of videos while the weather was awful, and yeah, it was something to film on in there, and I brought it out. So now I can do proper repots in the bonsai garden, in the bonsai expression garden, and we can get some repots done instead of struggling like this, like I was doing, because every time I was doing some work, it was hurting me back. And now I've got it at a proper level and a proper bench, at least for working on, and I can crack on doing my maple today, and I can do the rest of all these trees today, which lovely jubbly. So we're making strides. It's only step by step, you know, front to tight, but we're moving in the right direction. And I just wanted to show everybody that yes, bonsai expression, it's not quite as big and as, well, as nice as it was at the old house, but it's bigger. You know, the space is bigger, and it's going to take time for me to fill this space and make it my own, because funds are tight, but I'm not complaining because of that, because, well, life is better here. You know, the house is better, the garden's better, the channel's growing, and you guys are coming on that journey with me. So, I'm happier. Just look at it. Winner. Anyway, if you like this one, because I do, the setup's getting there, you know, please do like, please do subscribe, and I'll see you in the maple video. Just a nice easy repot, get it in somewhere bigger. See you in the next one, everybody. Over and out. I'm going to enjoy the sun, I'm going to enjoy my trees, get some repots done. Thanks for watching.